What's going on, everybody? Today is April 19th, 2024, and one of my books dropped today. It's called All Skin Folk Ain't Kinfolk, and we're going to get into that later, but right now I just want to talk to the people. And a lot of people always ask what I'm doing, what I got going on next, because I've been doing so many things in entertainment, from acting, writing scripts, producing a TV show, a local TV show in Greensboro, North Carolina that I created, to doing theater. So I've done so many things. So right now, I've been writing books for the past 2.5 years, and we on my 8th book, which is All Skin Folk Ain't Kinfolk. So I want y'all to take a look at the artwork first of all, because this is all my idea. From the artwork, from the face of the book to the interior of the book, meaning from the cover to the inside is all of me. This is my idea, and I get my designer and they put it together. I take pride in the cover of the books because of the fact of, it's like, that's the face of the product. That's what everybody see first. And I just didn't want it to look bland. I wanted to really have, stand out when it's on the shelves, when it's on the internet. All of my books are on Amazon.com and worldwide, in small to large bookstores, around the country, around the globe, wherever books are sold. So first, what I want to get into, right, is I want to talk about, this was my first book, and it was a tester, from the bricks to the sticks. It was a tester. I just wanted to see how things went, because I was never taught. I was self-taught writing these books. So, and if you know the art, if you've seen this artwork before, you probably seen this artwork before when I had my film, One Foot In, One Foot Out. That's where that artwork comes from. It comes from that right there. And that was basically a story about my life, and when we actually did One Foot In, One Foot Out, I wrote it as a full length, but we shot it as a short because of budgets, but that's that. The reason why it's called From the Bricks to the Sticks is because it was already a book titled some years ago, One Foot In, One Foot Out. So I couldn't use that in the book form. And just to back up a little bit, I chose to go backwards during COVID. I had thought in 2021, so that's when the first book was put out. That's when From the Bricks to the Sticks was put out in 2021 during COVID. And I was just thinking, I was just frustrated and just exhausted with trying to break into the film industry with my writing and acting and all of that stuff. And I was going at it for years. So I was trying to figure out another way. I was like, all right, I got these different projects and stuff that I had written over 15 years ago. And I was like, okay, I don't want to do them as a film. I want to go ahead and put them in the book form. So that's what I did. And that was the idea, and that was the birth of me becoming an author, in 2021. Just trying to do something different. Some people their books become movies, I went backwards, and I chose to put my scripts into book form. And so a lot of times what people will see when you look at these books like Dre's Revenge as well, this is an actual script. And we're going to come back to Dre's Revenge, because first I want to go with When the Smoke Clears. And we'll come back to that and I'll explain to you. When the Smoke Clears, this is about it's like a Bonnie and Clyde. It's a drama. Bianca and Gunner, they're like stick up. They stick up. They're robbing anything and everything. But Bianca, she met Gunner just on a humbug walking down the street one day. And Gunner was a well-known stick-up guy. He got Bianca into it, And Bianca also had a son that she couldn't take care of. She was struggling with it. Her mother was actually raising her son, and until she got on her feet. So her mother seen her start looking better, doing well. That's because she got with Gunner, and they're doing these robberies. And I'm talking about Gunner was into robbing everything moving, gambling halls, guys on the corner, you name it. He was robbing. Only thing Gunner didn't actually touch was like he didn't never rob a bank, but he he robbed some serious places. Okay, and ultimately what happens is Bianca had the opportunity to get her son, and she blew it, you know. So then that's when Dred's revenge comes into place here, because Dred is her son, and her mother was raising Dred. And as you can see, Dred's revenge, son of Bianca, her mother was raising Dred. So what happened was her mother died from just natural causes, you know, old age. You know, her mom's passed away, so Dred wound up being in foster home. He went from foster home to foster home, and ultimately he ran away from one foster home, and then he wound up in juvenile hall from doing little petty crimes, and he wound up getting juvenile life. And so by the time he got out, he was like 21. But while he was in jail, he heard of the story about his mother and Gunner. They were just like legends in the neighborhood, in the city. You know, they were legends pretty much around their whole state, because the way they were doing things. And he never knew how his mom got killed. He never knew like who did it and none of that, right? So when he found out, he came out with his cellmate, and they just went on a rampage. And he went out trying to avenge his mother's death. And but get this right here: if you get When the Smoke Clears, you want to get Dred's revenge, because when you read When the Smoke Clears, you're gonna ask like, what happened to Dred's? What happened to her son? And then you're gonna find out here. Now both of these are scripts for a movie, you know, but these were what I turned into books, you know, because I just didn't want the material to sit, you know. The next one here is let me set this up right. I'll hold on to that then. It's The Last Lap. So The Last Lap, this is based on true events that took place in the mid-90s. And it's about a young lady. She was raised a single parent home. Her father had passed on, and she was a track star. She was green. She goes off to college. She meets some different people and everything, and then she started, you know, getting a little wild. But she met what would be her first true love. At least that's what she thought. And she ultimately wound up contracting HIV. And a young lady named here is Jamila. So yeah, it's a like I said, it's based off true events, and it's a good story here. And like I said, these are, when you look at these books, these are scripts, so they don't read like your regular books. I wanted to give, and that's another thing, I wanted to give the reader the opportunity to actually, some people never may have seen what a script looks like. So I'm in these books, what you're gonna get is the actual script, you know. And so you get, for the first time, some people may read and say, man, this could be a movie, and it actually is. So let me just hold that. Hamster Visions. Hamster Visions is my poetry book here. And about Hamster Visions, I was sitting on about 200 poems, okay? And it just started getting longer and longer, right? So that's when I knew, I said, okay, I gotta start I got a lot of stuff to talk about, or a lot of things to get off my mind or whatever. Poetry is actually what opened the door for me to start writing scripts, because I found that poetry wound up being more so like therapy for me, and it was like practice. It will work my mind, an exercise for my mind. So, and to write the larger the scripts and things of that nature. So Hamster Visions is just my poetry pieces. Okay, and this Hamster Visions 1. And if you know about the hamster, the hand with the eye, it's a spirituality thing. It's about protecting your peace. It's about just becoming financially stable and secure, and just wanting to be, at peace with yourself. So that's what the hamster is when you see that hand and that eye. That's what that is. So this Hamster Vision 1, Hamster Vision 2 just picks up where that left off at. So like I said, I was sitting on 200 pieces at one time, so I had to break them down, and that's what it was. So that's Hamster Visions 2 and Hamster Visions 1 here. All right, let me get this straight. So we already talked about when the smoke clears. So now we're going to Flocko. And Flocko was like my nod and to the Hispanic culture, to my Spanish people. You know what I mean? Me growing up in Newark, New Jersey, I grew up and have friends that are Hispanic and everything like that. So I know, a little bit, about the culture. And it's Flocko, it's just about a young guy and his friends. They grew up, they were from young kids, and they grew up and they were into dancing. And Flocko, which is right here, Flocko is he wanted to be a world-class dancer. So he wanted to do everything, merengue, hip hop, whatever. That was his dream. And his homeboys, they just followed with him. They loved to dance too, but not as much as Flocko did. They were more so like, when they went to the clubs to dance and things of that nature, they would do their little thing, support Flocko, but then they would always dip off and go be with the girls, go chasing the women. You know what I mean? But they were just good friends, But it also shows, Flocko also not only shows about the culture, in which they love, Hispanics love to dance. And I remember growing up and seeing a lot of my Hispanic friends and associates, Friday nights, they would dress up with their ladies and they'd go hit the club, man. That's what they love to do. But what Flocko also shows us how friends become distant and separate from each other. Life just happens, and a lot of times it starts with finances. So yeah, some things take a big turn in here, but Flocko is a good read, and this is actually was a script as well. This was a script for a movie as well. So that's Flocko. And what we actually here for today is All Skin Folk Ain't Kinfolk. And this is my 8th book in under 3 years. Okay? And All Skin Folk Ain't Kinfolk, this is for everybody, for every generation. No one is excluded. And this book also speaks about like the individuality, like change starts with you, the individual. But we can't go speak in the groups until you've changed. You can't go to somebody and say and wonder why they haven't changed if you haven't changed yourself, And All Skin Folk Ain't Kinfolk also speaks on like, why do we feel that way? Why do we think that way? This is more so of it is a self-help book. Because why do we feel that way? Why do we think that way? Because All Skin Folk Ain't Kinfolk is just it's a saying that our elders used, that you would hear back in the day. You know, when I was young coming up, I would hear this saying, you know, and never really knew what it meant, you know, because you knew when we were young, it was do as I say, you know what I mean? Not do as you see me do as I say, you know. So it was more of those things like that. So, and that's another thing I speak on in here. You know, a lot of things happen to people mentally, mental health. I'm speaking on mental health in here, relationships, family, love, self-love. I have a section where I'm talking about when grandma died, the family died. You know what I'm saying? And so this book is talking about us, the people, and just getting back to respecting each other. You know what I mean? And All Skin Folk Ain't Kinfolk, man, it's a good read for families. This is something you can sit down with your children and y'all can go over this book. It's a great conversation starter, you know, for you, your family, friends. You may be sitting on your porch, sitting in your backyard or whatever, you know, sitting outside kicking it. This is conversation piece that many of us have, you know, at times. And it also talks about those things that we don't want to talk about, especially like this book was actually motivated as well when speaking on like mental health. I don't get too deep in it. I just touch on mental health and some of the things, you know, like life happens, right? So sometimes I like to call it life traumas. Like certain things we go through in life cause us to have those traumas. Sometimes we can have like sometimes the things that happen to us, like we can lose out on a job that we wanted, or maybe it was a sport. Maybe we didn't go to take it to that next level with playing football or whatever, basketball, whatever sport it is. You might have not made it to the level you wanted to make it to, and that could cause trauma with you. Sometimes some people don't have a plan B, but even if you do have a plan B, you might not go as hard for plan B as you did for plan A. You know what I mean? That's a trauma that because plan A didn't work out, but it's okay. And it's okay to not be okay as well. And then sometimes some folks are born into unhealthy parents, you know, and them things cause mental health issues. It's not your fault. It's okay. But I talk about that here. I talk about like dad versus father. You know what I mean? And knowing the difference in that. You know what I mean? Just speaking on like a deadbeat and where does this stem from? You know what I mean? So yeah, All Skin Folk Ain't Kinfolk. This is a good read. I'm not beating you in the head. It's only about 50 pages. And I also share a piece of my life in here as well. So when I'm talking about my early years, and I asked the reader to pinpoint what could have been some of my traumas. So yeah, All Skin Folk Ain't Kinfolk. This book is out today, April the 19th. You can get it at Amazon and wherever books are sold. Right now you can get it at Amazon, but I give it about a couple of weeks, it'll be everywhere. All right, so I want y'all to just take a look at these books here. You know, like I said, I take pride in everything from the cover to the inside of it, and I just want to give y'all the experience. You know, I want to give y'all the experience, which is like some of my scripts. I just went ahead and converted them into a book form, and I just want to say to anybody out there that has the ambitions of being a writer, do it. Don't second yourself, and do it when you feel, and talk to people who are doing it. You know, and the only way to do it is you got to start writing something. There's a beginning, middle, and an end. Start from the beginning. Start from the beginning of whatever it is whatever story you're trying to tell. Take your time with it. It's not a race, you know. Take your time. Some people, it takes them years to put out a book. Some established writers, it takes them a couple years or so, or maybe a decade to put out a book. You know what I mean? Because it's just not that easy, or sometimes there's other things happening in life. But for everybody, man, make sure y'all go out and support me. I'm on, my books are on Amazon. You could just Google Rashone Washington. Just Google my name, and then it'll show you, say Rashone Washington, author. That's the best way I could tell you. All right? Author Rashone Washington. And all my books will come up in various places, you know, all around the country. And you can find me on social media, Rashone, Rashone, Looker, Looka. You can find me on Facebook under that name, Instagram, on TikTok. You can find me under Soul on Ice 5050. Soul on Ice 5050. That's on Instagram. And yeah, hit me up on any of the social medias if you got any questions or whatever, man. I'm free to share whatever knowledge I can with you, because like I said, I was self-taught with this. Pretty much I was self-taught within this whole entertainment, from being a script writer to the acting, and to promoting the parties, you know what I mean? To producing my own local TV show on a public access channel in Greensboro, North Carolina, back in 2004. Like, I've been self-taught. I've had help. I've gathered help along the way, but I was self-taught. But if you have ambitions to do something, you're gonna do it. You know what I mean? And those who do it, what you're trying to do, they're gonna feel more comfortable with helping you. And if one person turns you down from help, it's okay. Keep going till you find the next person. But that's it, folks. Make sure y'all tap in. Once again, it's out today. All Skin Folk and Kinfolk. April 19, 2024. This is my 8th book in under 3 years. It's out today. Amazon. All my books are ebooks. Are available in ebook as well. And one more thing, I got 3 more books coming. 3 more books coming so far. I got 3 more books coming. I got a thriller, a drama, and I'm going to be putting out a children's series. Also, before I wrap up, I almost forgot this one. I got my 9th book coming in June. That's another poetry, phrases, and quotes. That's coming in June. And that's Wise Thoughts from a Slick Mouth. That'll be coming out in June of 2024. And yeah, we're just gonna keep rolling. It don't stop. And that's my time, folks. Peace.